So, we want to continue our sermon series discussion about under pressure, focusing on mental health. And we want to take the time to welcome Dr. Jill Lee-Barber for being with us again today.
Thank
So,
you.
we have talked about caring for others and we've talked about caring for ourselves. And this week, we're talking about burnout. So, the first question I want to ask you is what is burnout?
Well, you there's not exactly a scientific definition of burnout, but it's something we all recognize, and doctors will talk to you about it, psychologists will, and truthfully, it's a natural thing that happens when we are under stress for a long period of time, just unrelenting,
Hmm.
and it affects us physically. We can be burned out mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So really, it's when you have so much stress and no break, no break, no break.
And so, what are some of the primary causes of burnout?
um, Not having enough time and enough intention to really rest
Hmm.
and staying so busy. I think I was speaking to you about stress, one of the things we think about stress is that we have it when we question whether our resources are enough to meet the demands. And we think about getting into burnout when that question is persistent. It can just cause us to be stressed. And when it doesn't let up, that's definitely burnout. Another thing we think about burnout is it's sort of nature's way of telling you your soul has left and your
Hmm.
body is just going through the motions. And
I've heard that before.
yeah, your soul has left the building. And so it's definitely a warning sign that you need some attention.
So, what can we do to prevent burnout? What are some of the things that we can do, like practically, that we can do to prevent burnout?
Well, I think the thing that comes to my mind first is boundaries and
I would never
making
have
sure.
thought of that.
Oh, well, the poet Robert Frost, I was an English teacher before a psychologist, said good fences make good neighbors.
Ah,
And I think one of the things that I don't say that I have it down, I don't say I practice it perfectly at all, but one of the things I can say can prevent burnout is having these little fences around the things that are important. So I know you walk and you go walk at Stone Mountain Park. I also love to walk. I walk in a park near my house. Putting a boundary around that time
oh,
that I don't say, "Oh, it's okay. I won't walk today. I can make those 6 phone calls," or "It's okay. I don't need to go to Stone Mountain today. I can, go and meet with another parishioner or something." So putting the fences, the little boundaries around things like your exercise time or bedtime. I feel better when I get 8 hours of sleep,
oh,
immensely
I
better.
know that.
Makes a huge difference to me, and that can really prevent burnout, saying when it's bedtime, I really do have to turn off the computer or turn off
or,
my
de- or
phone,
devices.
put the do not disturb on. That fence is so important. And I think when we ignore those natural boundaries that we need to have, we can really be at risk of burnout. So
Yeah,
that's one thing for prevention. I think there's also some things we can do once we realize we are burned out. I don't know if you're going to ask
that's fine. I'd love to hear those things.
that. Well, I think one of the first things that we notice is we're exhausted. And,
Mm.
there's a corny old joke that someone goes to the doctor and says, "Doc, it hurts when I go like this." And you know what the doc says? Don't go like that.
Mm.
And so when we're exhausted, the natural thing is stop and rest and get yourself refilled. We can get disengaged. We can feel hopeless. We can feel cynical. We can feel resentful. And once we're to that place, burnout's already taken hold, and we have to just honor that and stop.
So, pay attention to the telltale signs.
Yes, to know yourself, know those signs, and stop. And then another thing that I think can really help is if we will stay connected to at least one person who has the capacity to see us as we are and who doesn't need us to be doing something.
That
Just
community.
just one person that can see you as you are, that isn't asking you for something or needing something, who can just say, "How is it with your soul?"
Mm.
Um, just one person resting, playing, kind of remembering the things that you love to do. Um, Maybe when you were a kid, there was something you could do for hours and time would just pass by. For me, it was reading. That was one, and walking in the woods. And I just lose time. And if I took a book to the woods, oh,
All the
that's
time is
gonna
gone.
really do it. Yeah, all the time is gone. And my dog, oh, there it all is. So remembering, I know a friend of Jordan's loves to play with Legos, and when he's putting Legos together, he's a grown man. When he's putting those together, time stops. So I think another thing to intervene with yourself on is to intentionally take some time to do that thing that makes time stop. The hymn says, "Take time to be holy." And there is something that is holy and sacred about taking that time.
Thank you. And I'm hoping that as we go through the series, that persons will recognize that this is for our well-being and that each of us will take the time that we need. Thank you for talking with us today.
Absolutely.